This video is an introduction to programming the Arduino for that board scratch. User has no prior knowledge of how to use the Arduino environment. So what I'm going to do is go to Chrome or to a browser, and the way you get to install the Arduino environment is you type in Arduino. Let me go big screen here. Type in Arduino, do a Google search on that. The Arduino home should come up. We're going to get the software, but before we do this, if you want to sort of self-teach yourself, or if I leave out things and you need references, go to Getting Started. It will talk about installing the software, and then it also has tutorials and things like that to help you through. However, so this is the Getting Started part. Now to talk about downloading software. So if you're really interested in this stuff and you want to download it on your own computer, then I highly recommend looking at this stuff. This is the tutorials and their examples here, and it talks about running examples. And so this will get you started with the basic Arduino board. Let me show you here. Let me zoom in. Oops, wrong way. This is the basic Arduino board. This green board here. We have a lot of them in the lab, so if you're interested in using the basic Arduino board, you can play with that in the lab. But as far as the training is concerned, we're going to use something called the ProtoSnap, which is programmed with the same environment. So the getting started and the tutorials are similar. It's the same programming environment. But what I'm going to concentrate now on is more of the software. And so if you want to get the software, you click on Arduino software, and you would download the latest version here with Windows or the Mac or Linux, and so you can do the Arduino software there. All right. Now, more specifically for this tutorial and the things that we're going to be doing with the middle school, we're going to be doing some additional stuff called ArduBlock, which the Arduino programming environment, and this will make more sense a little bit later, but the Arduino programming environment, you actually type in code. It's sort of a C-esque, it's built on a language called processing, and sort of a C-esque type of language, and you'll see that a little bit here, and if you've done this before, this is all just review. So we're going to download the Arduino environment. Now, you're not actually going to do this in this training because this should be done on the computer that you're using. I'm showing you this just in case you encounter a computer that doesn't have the environment installed. But all of the lab, the training lab computers, the desktops, as well as all the laptops we will use, whether they be PC or Mac, should have all this installed. But this is just a precaution, just in case it's not installed. Also, just in case you want to do this yourself and put it on your own personal PC. But this is the Arduino environment, which we use for the high school curriculum, and then we sort of augment that with this environment called ArduBlock, which is a drag and drop environment. So let me take this back to 100%. Okay. So that's Arduino, but there's something called ArduBlock, ARDUBLOCK. And you click on ArduBlock, and there's a whole bunch of introductions. If you want to look at that, there's Getting Started, and it comes from a company called SparkFun. You can do that. So you can see there are a lot of tutorials here. The thing that concerns me here is in order to use ArduBlock, there's a file that you have to put in a particular library part of Arduino for it to work. So if I click download here, you'll go to SourceForge and you click download. Click this here. And it will eventually, there you go, it will ask where I want to put the file. And so here's a file. It's an executable file. It's a jar file. It's executable, and you have to put it in the proper place. So what is the proper place? Okay, well, let's go back and learn what that is. Or let me show you here, and then I'll show you where I learned where it was. So I go to, if I can remember myself, I go to my hard drive, I go to users, this is local administrator. I think you could either use student or administrator on one of our machines. Once again, this should already be installed, but I'm just showing you. Then I go to my documents and Arduino and tools. And yes, this is arduous. There should be a file named tools, RGBlock tool, add here. And you put the file in this directory here. Now, that seems confusing, but it's not all that confusing when, and I've already put the file in this one, so I'll close this off, but that's where you save the file. It seems confusing, but once again, plenty of tutorials to help you figure out where things should go. So just reading the tutorials here, you do a little research and it'll be fine. But once again, that's if you want to do it on your own. It should all be done for you. Okay, so let me open up the programming environment so that you can see what's happening. So I'm going to go to Arduino, which is this little infinity type symbol. I already have the icon in the drawer here on my computer. If I wanted to, you go to programs and should be, there it is there for me, but you can locate it. So this is the Arduino programming environment. You type code in here. For those of you unfamiliar with Arduino, there are two main pieces of code. You have to do a setup function and a program function, but with arduBlock things are going to be a little different, and you'll understand in a second. To open up arduBlock, like I said, it's a part of the Arduino environment if you do the proper install. So I click on Tools, and arduBlock should be a selection here. If I click on that, it opens up the arduBlock window, and these windows work in cohort to make your program work. So I'm going to stop here because this is just a brief overview.